Stop.
Alrighty, welcome back, you filthy fucking animals. Another episode of CTE. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus recently. We did record a predictions for this card, but didn't get around to that. So sorry about that one. But today we're here to react to the card. It was a pretty decent fight night overall. Uh, would have preferred the Dan Hooker fight instead of what we got with Bobby Green and Jalin Turner, but because that probably what happened there probably maybe could have been avoided, the death sentence of Bobby Green. But anyways, yeah, welcome back, guys. I'm Henry. This is Theo,
Welcome back, you cooks.
and we're gonna get straight into it. Sean Brady, Kelvin Gastelum, which was the second fight on the main card. So yeah, I mean, in the predictions we both took Brady. But then I was like looking around, watching some videos and shit, and then some people were making some good points, kind of swaying me more towards Gastelum. I put down a parlay with Gastelum on it, and what ended up happening is Brady just fucking ragdolled him the entire fight. Gastelum couldn't really make anything happen,
At all.
like at all.
Just couldn't get up. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he has pretty good ground game. He has pretty good defense and stuff. So I thought he was going to be able to give Brady a little bit more of an issue there, cause a little bit more problems and stuff, and be able to stand up and cause some issues on. Because I thought he had better striking and he has more power.
Yeah, no, Gastelum's definitely the better striker than Brady, and obviously has more power too, coming down from 185,
Right.
which his power, should have translated
Yeah.
down. The only thing
he
that should have
couldn't.
deteriorated was his
He
chin,
literally
maybe.
could not get. He literally couldn't stand up the entire fight.
Yeah,
So just got overall dominated.
literally.
Dominated on the ground.
Had no
Easy work
answer
for him.
for
Yeah.
the grappling of Sean Brady, who before this fight wasn't seen as a very good wrestler per se. He wasn't a very good offensive wrestler. Wasn't able to just take you down at will.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the Bilal fight, obviously Bilal has like really, really good takedown defense, and he's a hard guy to get down. But we've seen guys at 85 struggle to take down Gastelum. So when you look at like, oh, Brady, was struggling to take down 170 Bilal, he's probably going to struggle a little bit with Gastelum too. But I guess in that time off that he's had since that fight, he worked on his wrestling a lot and was able to just take Kelvin Gastelum down whenever the fuck he wanted to.
He looks good.
He
I
did.
mean,
He
he
did
did.
look good. He looked
His
very good.
ground game looked phenomenal. So that's a good
He
one for
kind of
him.
pulled an Aljo,
I'm interested to see who they'll give him. I think he's been calling out Ian Gary. I think honestly that fight makes most sense right now.
Ian Gary don't want to fight.
I mean,
him,
Ian Gary probably wants to, like, after this fight he's gonna want to go fight.
Yeah.
He's gonna want to fight. The probably top five.
Since
or
he's
people in them.
getting the push, he's
Yeah,
probably gonna get.
He's definitely gonna want to be fighting the top five. But I don't see why Brady calling him out doesn't make sense. I understand.
Yeah, no, I could see that fight being made for sure because, not every time you win, you're going to end up fighting a guy above you.
Right.
Sometimes you win a fight and you still have to fight a guy below you, whether that's because of the other guys are booked or if, if that's just who they want you to fight. It depends on who they offer you. And if they don't offer you anybody above you after a win, then you kind of have to take what you're given.
Yeah.
So they might give him Sean Brady. They're on similar schedules. I mean, Ian Gary fights in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Brady just fought, so that would work. It would have to be a guy that has either just recently fought or hasn't fought yet or doesn't have a fight booked. So we'll see what they end up doing. We're all hoping that Luque sparks Ian Cuckold Gary. But we'll talk more about that in the 296 predictions, which should be up sometime next week. But yeah, no, just disappointing performance from Gastelum. Expected a lot more from him. Coming down to 170, he was supposed to be a fresh start. If he would have won this fight, he would have been into the top 10, maybe making his way back towards the belt potentially. But yeah, just didn't really do a whole lot. I don't know where you really do with him after this. I mean, he's not obviously going to get a ranked guy after losing to a ranked guy. So if he does stay at 170, you're probably just going to give him some guy outside the rankings that's not really that interesting of a matchup for him.
Right.
Maybe like a Chaos Williams, maybe a Randy Brown.
I mean, he's just. I think those wars. I think the wars that he had at 185 was just.
Yeah.
They've just taken their toll on him.
The Izzy fight, the Whitaker fight, the Darren Till fight.
Yeah, there's just plenty of fights that he just. I don't think he'll ever be come back from. So
Yeah,
it's a shame because you always enjoy watching him fight, but he just hasn't looked like the same
he
after
just
those
looked so
Izzy and
bad.
Whitaker fight.
He
Yeah.
just couldn't do anything, man. He maybe landed like Sean Brady took like no damage.
None.
Kelvin maybe landed like 10 significant strikes max. Like it was a domination
Yeah.
by Sean Brady.
Very
Good
good for him.
performance from him. Gastelum, I don't know what you do after that. It's a
We'll
pretty
see.
shitty spot to be in for him. But we'll hope he can at least
Figure something out and get back on
yeah,
the winning path.
for sure, for sure. But up the card, next fight we have what was next? The Figgy Rob Font, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Deiveson Figueiredo's bantamweight debut, taking on Rob Font. God of War gets the 30-27 unanimous decision over Rob Font. Looked pretty good, honestly. Like in the prediction video that you guys aren't gonna get to see. Maybe I'll throw in some of the clips from that in this one so you can kind of see what we were saying. But yeah, no, I expected Rob Font to just go in there, a guy who's been at the top 5, top 10 bantamweight rankings for however many years at this point, is just kind of a staple of that division. Not a very good. I didn't think it was a very good matchup for Figgy, who was shorter than Rob Font, has the not as big of a reach as Rob Font. Um, and was struggling with a guy like Moreno, who was a smaller, obviously, at flyweight. So I didn't think it was really going to translate well to him moving up against a guy like Rob Font, especially if he was struggling with Moreno and getting dropped by Moreno and all that shit. But he proved me wrong, and he had a pretty fucking good performance.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to really neutralize Font's
Yeah,
jab, which is his
yeah,
best
which is his
weapon.
main thing. Yeah,
He
for
was
sure.
really able to stop him. His boxing overall, he was landing the much bigger shots, the much more. He had much more power behind his shots, so he was landing with those. He was landing cleaner, wobbling Font multiple
Yeah,
times, and Font's recovery is shit. He just cannot seem to recover from
no,
big
he can't.
shots.
He
So
takes a
he
big
was just,
shot, he's in
and then
trouble.
he just took him down pretty much at will and did what he wanted on. I
Yeah, he
mean,
had some beautiful
Font
takedowns.
was definitely able to get up a lot
He was.
in those early rounds. He was getting
Yeah.
up, and the scrambles and the exchanges on the ground were really good.
Mhm.
But eventually, just Figgy just figured it out, and just really got him on the ground, was able to hold him. And I mean, he's just got better at the exchanges and his power. So it was very, very impressive debut for him at a new division. It's gonna be interesting to see who they give him next. You got to give him someone ranked. I mean, well, obviously higher now. He's gonna be probably he takes the number 8 ranking, so you got to give him
Yeah.
someone in the top 5, I
I
would
think
say.
you do him versus Piotr Jan.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, you were
fire
saying that
fucking fight.
earlier, and I think
Yeah.
that's a great fight. That makes sense. I mean, we know Jan's on a bit of a slide and
Yeah,
everything, but
yeah.
we still at least both hold the opinion that Jan is one of the best
I
in the
still think he's a
division.
top 3 bantamweight. I think
100%.
so for sure.
Skill
Yeah,
wise,
skill
his
wise.
record right now might not show that, but skill wise, he is just phenomenal.
Yeah, he's
And I
so
think
good.
he's lost a bit of confidence after that illegal knee, and
Yeah,
then
and the
obviously
Marab
the
fight.
robbery by O'Malley, in my
Yep.
opinion.
Yep, yep.
Uh, but I just think I think he's still there, and I think he still definitely can fight, and this is a really good fight for him
Yeah.
to get back on track.
He was
Because that
supposed to
fight could go either way. It's a
No,
really
for sure.
interesting
Yeah, I
fight.
mean, Figgy could easily, especially how he looked in this one, he could definitely
Oh yeah.
do some damage to Piotr Jan. But if I had to pick someone in that one, I'd probably go Piotr Jan. But like you said, that one is a toss up. It could go either way for sure. I mean, Piotr Jan was supposed to fight Song Yadong in the main event of the fight night next weekend,
Yeah, he's
and he
out.
pulled out. I don't know why he pulled out. I don't know what injury he had or visa problems, what it was, but he pulled out of that one. So since he was supposed to fight and Figueiredo just fought,
Mm.
you booked that one. Maybe UFC 300, maybe a opening fight of UFC 300, maybe on the prelims,
You could do.
depending on how stacked that fight card is, which as of right now we don't know anything. Or you could put it on like 298, 299, whatever. 299 would make sense because
Hmm.
having another top 10 bantamweight fight below the title fight of Cheeto O'Malley, to kind of set some shit up, that would make sense. So
We'll see what they
regardless,
do.
whatever they decide to do, if they put Marab Cejudo on that card or whatever, but I think that's what you do with Figueiredo next after a pretty solid debut against Rob Font.
For
So
sure.
yeah. Co-main event up the card. Fucking Our man Bobby Green got a few years taken off his life, unfortunately, thanks to the
Arguably the
referee.
worst stoppage we've ever seen.
He's like, oh, he's
One of
still
them.
breathing. Keep hitting him.
No, literally, dude,
Yeah.
he's like, he's not dead yet.
He's not.
He's
Yeah, that
literally
was
not
some
dead yet,
Mario.
dude. It literally is like the fucking we were watching like the
Yeah,
Gladiator, and he's like,
yeah. It was
and-
some Mario Yamasaki shit.
dude, it was terrible. You see,
Literally.
he's back refing. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
he's in PFL refing, dude. He was the guy that said when he let that one girl take like a fuck ton of unanswered shots, he was like, I was allowing her to be a warrior.
Allowing her to be a warrior. You were
So
taking years off her life, you
yeah.
dumb fuck.
So this guy channeled his inner Mario Yamasaki and let Bobby Green, we counted it. It was about 15 unanswered bombs while he
Yeah.
was on his back, covering up like this on the ground,
And he wasn't
not
even doing
defending.
like. Eventually, she just stopped doing that and was just laying there, out
Yeah,
cold, just
I
getting
mean,
the
it's not
shit
really
kicked out
funny,
of
but
him.
like, it's just ridiculous that that was, like allowed to happen. Like, that guy's usually not a bad ref, too.
No,
That's the
he's a
thing
good
that's
ref.
crazy.
He's a
That
good
dude's
ref.
not a bad ref. He just, I don't, and I watched the post-fight interview with Dana. Someone asked Dana about it, and he
So
said he
mad.
talked to the ref, and the ref knows he fucked up.
Oh yeah.
He knows. He was like, yeah, the guy feels really bad, and he knows he fucked
Dude,
up.
as you should. Bobby
Yeah.
Green is like, dude, he's an older guy.
Bobby Green's 37,
Yeah,
dude.
bro. Like he might not see like
I'm not.
67.
All I know is
Like
based on that, I'm
Jesus.
not picking Bobby Green in his next fight. Definitely
Dude,
not.
that man beat fucking
Jalen
CTE in and
Turner.
out of him after each bomb.
Yeah,
Just
it
CTE,
was it was really
CTE,
bad.
CTE.
Just
Just
a quick.
terrible.
Jalen Turner hit him with a straight on the temple, and then came around, hit him with another one on the other temple. He went down and then, fell on his stomach, and then Jalen Turner full mounted and hit him with the just 15. If you haven't seen it, like go. It's one of the worst stoppages in recent memory. It's
It's
up there with
arguably
like,
in the top 5 of all time.
yeah, I'd say it's up there with like Jan over Aldo, which was a
Yes.
really bad one. Figgy over Benavidez.
Dude, it's just
Um,
like what more did you need to see? I
yeah,
don't understand.
it was terrible. It was
Terrible.
really, really bad. It could have been stopped, arguably right after he hit the floor.
You one or two insurance shots, understandable,
Yeah,
and then it's over.
yeah,
Over.
yeah. I mean, if Mark Goddard was there, he would have stopped it right when it hit the floor.
Yes.
Because if you go look at the Yuri Poetan stoppage and then look at this one, it's like, oof, So,
Terrible.
yeah, unfortunate for Bobby Green. We all love Bobby.
Especially when he was starting to get his, this it looked like he had a second win in his sales and he was
Yeah,
coming
dude.
for that top 10
And now
he
that's
was
all
going to start
gone.
causing problems. Done.
Yeah, it's over now. I mean,
Done.
good win for Jalen Turner, who
Yeah,
I
congrats.
feel like a lot of people were saying like, oh, Jalen Turner got fraud checked by Dan Hooker and all this shit. Jalen Turner is very good. He definitely made some crucial mistakes in that fight with Dan Hooker.
Hmm.
But I wouldn't say he got fraud checked, as he displayed here against Bobby Green that he's still very dangerous and
Oh yeah.
able to finish, you know, some elite guys. So we'll see what they do with him next. I'm assuming he'll probably, I don't know, maybe you could do him versus like a Benoit Saint Denis or him versus an RDA or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that one. But when it comes to Bobby Green, all that man needs to do is take some fucking time off. So
He's asleep for
when he got
years.
up from it and he was walking over to Jalen Turner to hug him, he was still on wobbly legs. Like you could see him like stumbling over to like talk to him and give him a hug and shit.
So bad.
But it was terrible. Just not a very
If you haven't seen MMA Guru's reaction to it,
yeah.
please go watch
Yeah,
that.
shout out to the Guru.
It is one of the funniest things ever.
Guru is the fucking goat, inspiration for this channel.
She's such a funny fucking clip.
Yeah,
Just
go
freaking
check that
out.
shit out if y'all haven't seen it. I'm sure if you're watching us, you probably watch Guru too, but go check that shit out. But yeah, that was just, it was terrible. But
Terrible.
anyways, our main event, a very very quick main event. In the predictions, we both picked Dariush, cause I mean, I explained myself in that video of why I picked Dariush, and I felt like it was pretty logical. I mean,
Yeah.
Arman Tsarukyan in his last fight before this was fighting unranked Hakeem Silva, who he was getting cracked by, and he still beat him, and he didn't finish him. He won by decision in that fight. Or maybe he did finish him, but it was in like the third round. I don't remember, but he was still like you could see plenty of holes in his game. And I just thought that if he was going from fighting that guy to jumping up to number 4 Dariush, it was going to be a bit of bit too much of a leap.
Yeah.
So, but apparently Dariush just doesn't really have much left in the tank. After that Charles loss, being on that 8-9 fight win streak he was on, losing to Charles, coming back, and just suffering another brutal first round KO to
Yeah.
Mr. Arman Tsarukyan, who
Within what, not even 2 minutes?
yeah, it was 64 seconds.
Yeah.
He uh, clinched him, threw a knee that like didn't really land, but kind of like scuffed the top of his head, and then the knee caused his head to fly up, and then Tsarukyan just cracked him with a straight right,
Yeah, it was
put him
beautiful.
down, and then hit him with like 3 bombs on the ground, fucking put his lights out. Took Dariush a long time to get up.
Yeah.
So it was pretty bad. It was a brutal KO. I mean, when I was watching it, I literally was just sitting there, just got my drink, took a few sips, and then it was fucking over. I was
Done within
expecting at
minutes.
least 3 rounds, maybe 4 from that one, of a nice back and forth like chess match,
Mm-hmm.
technical, just the good stuff. But I mean, I can't be mad at a quick KO. It was pretty
No,
sick.
it was impressive for Tsarukyan. It'll definitely give him into the top.
Top five. He's gonna be number
Yeah,
4 now.
he'll be
That's gonna
number
be
4, so he's
Chandler,
gonna have to fight.
Tsarukyan, uh, Poirier, Gaethje, Charles, and then Islam's obviously champ. So
Yeah, he'll definitely be fighting up there for the. It'll be interesting to see who they give him next.
they need to give him Poirier. This is what they need to do. Poirier needs to stop being a little bitch and
Yeah.
fight an up and comer, which he never does. Poirier only fights. Poirier's on a cycle. He'll fight Chandler. He'll fight Gaethje. He'll fight Connor. He'll fight whatever. He wants to fight Islam. He tweeted out, "Title shot or I retire."
Then fucking retire.
Gaethje went and he paid his dues. He fought the up and coming monster that Viziev was before he lost to Gaethje,
And showed him who the real monster is.
and then went on to KO Poirier via head kick after that.
Right.
So Gaethje definitely deserves a title shot for sure over Poirier. So where does that leave Poirier? To fight Tsarukyan.
Yeah.
Title eliminator. If you want a title shot, beat this guy. Then you'll get
It
your
goes for
title
both
shot.
of them. Tsarukyan beats him, then you give him a title shot.
It
He
makes
beats
sense.
Poirier, or Poirier beats him, then you give Poirier like a chance at the title.
Exactly.
It just depends what they do. They need to find someone because the only two people right now that really make sense in the division are Charles and Gaethje.
Which I don't know how they're going to decide that.
I would say you give it to Charles because he had the fight, but he pulled out. But I would just say let's do Charles because he dominates.
And Gaethje has no problem sitting out.
Yeah.
So
and
Gaethje,
then he can wait for just say Islam wins again or Charles wins, whoever. You just give him the title shot. By then, that fight of Tsarukyan and Poirier will be playing around the same time.
If Charles beats Islam, you arguably that Gaethje might not even deserve another shot against Charles because Charles destroyed Gaethje.
Right, but then who would you give?
The winner of Tsarukyan Poirier.
Yeah,
instead. True. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what they end up doing when it comes to who's going to be in the title eliminator. We know they'll probably do Tsarukyan versus either Poirier or Gaethje or Charles. They have to give him at least one of those 3 guys, regardless of who it is. And then Dariush, when it comes to him, I don't know. I mean, that's probably it for him. I feel like I mean, his next fights, obviously, he's going to drop down to number 8 or number 7. So, I mean, maybe if you want to do him versus like an RDA or something.
I don't see a title shot in his future.
Yeah, I don't see anything really going his way.
Maybe Jalin Turner?
Yeah, maybe Jalin Turner, but that's another terrible matchup for him. Like, I see him getting finished quickly again by Jalin Turner. Like, Dariush's stock in these last 2 fights has dropped significantly. Before the Charles fight, everyone's just like riding his meat, saying like, "Oh, he's gonna beat Charles. Like Charles is gonna get destroyed by Dariush," and then Charles kicks his ass, and then he gets KO'd by Tsarukyan in a minute, and now everyone's like, "Oh, this guy was never that good." That's how MMA fans are.
They switch quick.
So yeah, well, it was a pretty solid card overall.
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was good. The Brady Gastelum fight was kind of boring because it was just a crotch sniff, wrestle fuck. And the Figueiredo Rob Font fight was a good scrap. The Bobby Green stoppage was a little horrifying, but It was a good win from Jalin Turner, and then obviously the quick finish in the main event by Tsarukyan, who has earned himself a title eliminator. So now at least we have a bit of a perspective for the future of the lightweight division, which is nice. And we also got a new contender at bantamweight with Figueiredo.
Yeah.
And we also know that Gastelum is not good enough to be in the top 10 at welterweight. So that's basically the takeaways from this card. And next, December 9th, I believe, is Song Yadong versus Chris Gutierrez, which is a pretty decent. That's not a
Good
bad
fight.
main event. I mean, it was supposed to be Piotr Jan, which I would have been super excited
Yeah.
about because Piotr Jan's like one of my top three favorite fighters. But I'll take that instead. I don't know what the other fights are on that card. We might do a predictions for that one. We might not. We might just jump straight to 296, which is on the 16th, 12 days. So we might just go straight into that one instead, like we did when we skipped over the Luis Almeida fight night and went to the 295 predictions. So we'll have that coming up soon. Make sure to follow us on TikTok at Cage Talk Everything, Instagram at Cage Talk Everything. I'll link it in the description. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Let us know what you think of the stoppage. You know, everything.
I think we know
Yeah.
what everyone thinks of that stoppage.
Yeah, I don't know. Just overall thoughts on the
Besides
card.
Mazzagatti, the only person out, he's the only one out there going, I could have gone a little longer.
Yeah, he's still breathing.
Yeah, he's not dead yet.
He still has a pulse. But yeah, um, but that's pretty much it for this one. We will see you fuckers in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.